So I just thought it'd be really cool to be a Mandalorian because, like, well, the Jedi, they're a prideful cult, and the Sith, they're just horrible people. Making Mandalorian seem like the way to go. Turns out Mandos kind of have the same problem as Jedi because they force children to fight each other to train them as warriors. Okay, is this the Hunger Games? And I get that it's not super dangerous because it's essentially just a game of paintball, but that was kind of a fun little moment, Grogu fighting the other Mandalorian child during their paintball game and him jumping over. That was fun, He learned a lot from Luke. He learned to jump. That was kind of fun. So this giant pterodactyl, we start off with the giant pterodactyl kidnapping one of the Mandalorian children, and the Mandos hatching a rescue plan. Now, what stood out is that they said they need to be sneaky so as not to alert the monster or it will kill the child. I don't know if that implies that that's happened before. Like, has another kid been kidnapped by one of these things and that mission didn't go so well? Is that what they were trying to imply? Because if that was the case, yikes. I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but... This episode did answer a question, though. How do the Mandalorians eat when they can't take off their helmet in front of other people? The answer? They go off on their own and eat in solitude. Again, another drawback to being Mandalorian, because you can't even do simple things like sharing a meal with others. That seems rather lonely. Like, being a Mandalorian gives you awesome armor and awesome weapons, but if you can't do something as simple as socialize over dinner, is it really worth it? And to some degree, that does kind of seem to be what this episode was trying to communicate about Bo-Katan. She doesn't quite fit in with the other Mandalorians, and she can't even rely on socializing with Din Djarin, who's her only Mandalorian friend. She just takes off her helmet. She's the only one staying by the fire because she's the leader of the rescue mission. And you can tell she's like, I'm lonely and I can't even socialize with these other people. That was my plan tonight, and now they're all off on their own. Is this lifestyle really worth it? That was a nice little moment that just kind of stewed and let the emotion really sink in. You need to go, oh, yeah, okay, Big Mandalorian has its drawbacks. But the biggest problem with this episode is that the B story was far more interesting than the A story. Because the B story about Grogu as a foundling of the Jedi Temple was a lot more compelling. Bonus, fan service, the Jedi who rescues Grogu from Order 66 is played by none other than Jar Jar Binks himself, Ahmed Best. Yes, after years of ridicule from toxic fans, they finally gave him a character who's awesome. Now, granted, Ahmed Best only has 3 minutes of screen time, but they did a lot with him in those 3 minutes. The flashback was a great way of adding action to an episode that would still have been fun, regardless, but it probably wouldn't have been nearly as interesting. Pretty great episode, had some fun action, some good fleshing out of characters and world building, but probably not as strong as it should have been. Well, that's it for this week. I will see you next week for next week's episode of The Mandalorian.